Kelechi's story.
My name is Kelechi Jaron, 27. I'm a fashion designer. The first time I was in church was on Wednesday. I had a beautiful experience. Truly, when I came in, I was seated at the back. So when he ministered to me, I really didn't know what happened. After then, I just met myself outside.
As she rightly said, the man of God, Senior Prophet G.F. Adetubero, ministered to Miss Kelechi, and by the touch of God, through his servant, the unclean spirit that had been manipulating her from childhood began to confess.
After the first ministration, I was outside. So when we're done, I decided to go in, pick my bag because it was getting late. My thought was to go inside, pick up my bag and leave. So when I got inside, to my greatest surprise, I noticed he was looking towards my direction. I was trying to hide. I don't want this man to bring me out again. Hey, he saw me. And he said, why don't you come and let me talk to you?
A man used to appear to you in the dream.
Yes,
almost every time, especially on maybe birthday, very significant days in your life. You see a man, when you want to wake up, you cannot stand up.
Yes,
you will
sir.
be pressed on the bed. Once you are pressed on the bed, you start feeling as if physically somebody is having intercourse with you.
Yes.
Come, follow me. It's a spirit of God. So you say you are not in any relationship. You are in a relationship,
yes,
but you are not well defined.
Yes.
Why I'm mentioning this is, from the very beginning, the women in the family find it very difficult in the area of marriage.
Yes.
If they are even married, they are the one that will be the man.
Yes, sir.
They will be the one sponsoring, financing, helping, taking care of their children.
Yes, sir. You're
The men
right.
are just figurehead. Don't worry, the Lord will deliver you and they use you as a point of contact to your family. Come on. Come on. Don't play spirit in this body. Render the body uncomfortable for you right now. Fire all over that body. Hey! Come on, who are you? What do you do to the men that come to her?
I inflate our beauty.
You deflate?
Thank you, Jesus, for
You deflate
delivering.
her beauty. How many of you are
Thank you,
living in
Jesus,
her
for
body?
delivering.
Two of us. The Queen Mother.
Queen mother. Queen number two.
Man.
The man, the husband and the mother. Queen mother. As queen mother, what have you done to her?
She used to be a smart girl from our
So
childhood.
you remove her brain.
Yes.
What else have you done to her as a queen mother?
Promise and fail. No one can help her.
What are the bad habits you've given to her?
Sexual urge.
Because I'm seeing a masturbator.
Yeah.
You can do it 17 times a day.
Sexual habit.
How long have you been living in this spirit of masturbation?
She was 5.
When she was 5 years old,
Yeah.
you started making her to masturbate from the age of 5. Eh?
Yes.
How is that possible? 5 years old.
By our village people to fetch water from me. And
entered
I
her.
struck her.
So she had been masturbating since she was 5 years old.
Yes.
How old is she now?
27.
Which animal is living in this sister?
Dog.
Dog.
Yeah.
As a dog, what have you done to her?
Sleeps with everything. Just to get money.
As a dog, how many years have you been living in her body?
Since she was 5.
Well, you see, at the beginning of life, it's very sensitive. Many of us that when we give birth, we like to go to hometown. Not born again, you are not filled with the Holy Spirit. They just help you take your child and keep your... The one they give you is Baruf. The rich child has been kept. How can a 5-year-old girl begin... At what age did she start having intercourse?
7.
7 years
I
old.
started with her dad's junior brother's son. That is meant to be her uncle, age 28.
And he slept with a 7-year-old girl. Why deliverance is important is because it's a lesson. We are learning what? Lesson. That's why I always say something. It's either you are for God or you are for Satan. You cannot stand on the fence. You must choose. What did a 5-year-old child do? They sent him to go and get water to bath, and they enter her. And for 22 years, they have been living a life that is not our own. Your time is up in our body now.
No!
I command you in the name of Jesus Christ. By the fire of the Holy Ghost.
No!
Come out of her. And take your dog spirit with you. Take your masturbation with you. Take your addictions with you. Out of her body. Out of her. In Jesus Christ's name. Clap for Jesus. You are free, my sister. Stand up. Congratulations. Let me ask you a few questions. Are you here for the first time? Who invited you?
My neighbor.
Neighbor, where are you? You were talking about having to start masturbation at the age of 5. How come you started masturbation at the age of 5? 5-year-old don't really know anything. What happened?
Actually, it all started when I was quite very young. I was 5. So I told my dad I wanted to go to the village to see what's happening in the village because my dad would never allow us go. He keeps saying something about witches and people inflicting people. But I begged him. So getting to the village, I met my dad's junior brother's wife for the first time. She was pretty and very tall. And I just fell in love with her in the village. So when they are ready to leave, I found out that my dad's junior brother's wife won't allow me go. She said that I'm useful to her. Then secondly, my parents have refused to bring any of their child to the village. That is not going to let me go. Like, it has to be my dad that will come and pick me. And my dad coming to pick me will have to be like 3 years' time because he works in UI and doesn't have leave except once in a while.
He's a lecturer.
Yeah, so I said, okay, that I remember my mom was crying then, and no, that I want my daughter. They said, no, they won't allow her go. That was the end I saw my mom then. So I remember that day, they used to have this festive period, and the town crier would go around and tell everybody not to come out on that day, that the masquerade wants to go out. But this woman told me to go and fetch water on that day, and I cried. I said, you heard everybody, and we still have water in the house. I said, okay, if you want me to go, that one of the child should go with me. So he said, no, that I have to be the only one to go. Or get into the stream. I found out that when I stepped into the water, because there's something they do before stepping into the water, they do something like this and then they step in. I found out when I stepped into the water, there was something like electricity and water combined together. I felt that shock. I think that was the only thing I could remember. That was me.
And you just passed out.
And I took the water home, and from there, my life has been. I remember that if I had come with my mom to Ibadan on that day, I was coming to write my examination, my common entrance examination. But because I was unable to come with her, they had to put me in Premi 1. I was using slate and chalk then. So it got to a stage, the woman said that my going to school is taking lots from her, so I should stop schooling. I was used to my book. I was used to competing with someone in my class then. But all of a sudden, the spirit, the fear from reading my book just came to me. I could not read anymore. I could not write. And even speaking like this was a miracle because I was speaking a variable pidgin.
Okay, for you to speak English like this is a miracle.
Because I didn't go to school. I only have my secondary school certificate. Even the exam, I remembered I wrote nonsense because I didn't understand what was on the YA question paper. So when they asked me to go and check my result, I said, it is rubbish that I wrote. There is no way I'm going to.
Does she speak like this before?
No.
How does she speak before?
It's broken.
Talk the way she used to talk before.
Okay. How you there?
So now she's speaking English. Come, shake me. Every day Everything that the devil has stolen from this body, be restored now. Restoration. Be restored. You're free.
Thank you, Jesus, for delivering me.
Clap for the Holy Ghost.
Yes, the masturbation, it happens. I used to masturbate and I have sex. I have this urge for sex, which is true. Most time when I am lonely, when I'm alone, I just have this crazy thought pop into my head. And then this urge for sex comes up and I feel like I want to have it. I want it. It all happened when I was 5 years old. And, it has really made my life miserable. I was the one stopping my dad then that I wanted to go to the village. Then I was so small. I was 5. And me back in the village, I was going through hell. One day the town crier was going about hitting that stuff that nobody should go out because they are having a festival. And the festival is going to take place so day. And that day, nobody should come out to fetch water. So after that warning, my dad's junior sister's wife decided to send me to the stream to get water. When I came out and I was going to the stream, people were just saying, who sent this girl to the stream? That person must be a wicked person. They keep saying all those things and I was hearing. I was angry, so I was just going angrily. I wasn't thinking about what I would meet. So with that anger, I just entered the water. Meanwhile, there's this sign you're supposed to do before you step into the water. If you are the first person to step into the water. But angrily, I didn't do it. I just pulled my slippers and I entered the water. Stepping into the water, I got this shock. This shock like electricity in water. That was where I felt that day. But for some minutes, I was strictly standing. I couldn't move. And after I regained conscious, I just took the water and went back home. But on the other hand, something spiritual already took over me. And that night, when I slept that night, was when I had my first dream, whereby I'm seeing men, water. It got to the point that the son that is meant to be my uncle, all of a sudden I noticed that the guy decided not to sleep in his room again. He said he wanted to be sleeping in my own room. Until one night I was sleeping and I noticed the touch. He started getting into me and he started having sex with me. And I think by then I was 7. But the masturbation one was already manifesting even before he started touching me. Even while he started the whole thing, part of me was already ready for it. Because I've been masturbating for a while. And it continued till I left the village. Sometimes he would even bring his friends. Whenever I went to fetch water and come back, he would spank me. And then when he spanks me like that, the friends would be like, why are you doing that to your niece now? Are you supposed to be doing that? Does she look like Angela? They would just say the name of the girlfriend that he has. Does it look like that kind of person that you've been knocking? This girl is a small girl. Now leave this girl alone. They say no, that if they know what he's enjoying in me, they won't be saying all those kind of things. I say enjoying herself. I say that if they want to have a taste of what he's saying, if the night he should come. Then the night he brought his friends. They came and while I'm sleeping in the night, they'll start touching me. He will hold me and the friend will do, and then his friend will hold me and he will do what he wants again, and then it was continuously. I was going through that trauma continuously. And even if I screamed till tomorrow, nothing was going to happen. Way back in the village, my life was already shattered because my education was cancelled. The woman stopped taking me to school. She said my school was eating much. Not like I was buying textbooks, not like I was buying notebook, not like I was buying pen. Because they use slate and chalk right there in the village. But she was just complaining that the school is taking much from her and she doesn't have much to spend on me again. So I stopped going to school. Since I stopped going to school, because I went to the village with most of my books, planning that I'll go to the village and read. Then when I come back, I'll just write my exam. So most of the textbooks I took to the village, I was reading them. After she had stopped me from schooling, she got angry at me for reading my books. Whenever I'm less busy and I'm reading my books, she will be pissed off. She will get angry. That, what is this book that I'm reading when I'm not even going to school? Even sometimes she wants to light a firewood. She asked me to go and bring my book. She used it to light. And I'll just cry about it. So that one already got me scared of reading. So whenever I see my book, I get scared of it. I'll be looking at them, I won't be able to touch them. And the thing is really affecting me till date. That my spoken English was terrible. I was speaking raw pidgin, Konkon with Igbo language. And then my education level went, like it dropped, it went low. I couldn't read anything. Even if someone gives me something to read, I couldn't read. I was one smart of a kid. As of then, I wasn't scared of expressing myself. I go for quiz, cowbell quiz. My school will sponsor it, and I'll come back from the quiz with a very good award for my school. Then, and it's really affecting me now because there are some jobs I see as a secretary, sometimes as a PA, but when I'm being offered that kind of job, I will be thinking, how am I going to write a receipt? I left the village when I was 10. That was when my dad came to pick me up. Okay, when I came back to Ibadan, my parents didn't know what I was going through. My mom didn't know what I was going through. I kept it to myself. So when I came back, I was supposed to be in primary 3 because my dad wanted me to write because I've lagged behind. Almost all the people that were in the same class together were already in secondary school. So they put me in primary 3, and after the lady gave me the test, I was just looking at it. I couldn't even read what was there. With the influence that, okay, she's my mom's church member, she just helped me out. I was just put to primary 3. And then she was my class teacher in primary 3. So she did that. I think through my secondary school, I was being pushed with a fair result. Not like I wrote it. No. My dad doesn't even look at my results. So my principal said all my results that he's been looking at it and I've been having a very poor results in my written. Even my maths is very poor. What is going on? And knowing that was my challenge, the man used the advantage to go through me. And he was like, okay, don't worry, I'll make sure I'm passing you. Just be a good girl. Good girl in the essence of having sex with him anytime he wants it. And it continued from my principal. I was living like that in my secondary school days. So anytime anybody says, let me put you through, why don't you sit for a WAEC and further your education, I won't be able to say, I can't do it. You don't know what I'm going through. Just fix me up in a business. Furnish something for me and I'll be fine. If I am still going to school, I have to start from reading the ABC alphabet. So I can be able to fix them up together to form a letter. Yes. That's how bad it is.
She used to be a smart girl from our
So
childhood.
you remove her brain.
Yes.
What are the bad habits you've given to her?
Sexual urge.
Because I'm seeing a masturbator.
Yeah. Sexual habit.
Which animal is living in this sister?
Dog.
Dog.
Yeah.
As a dog, what have you done to her?
Sleeps with everything. Just to get money. Because
The sexual thing is just It happens when I'm in need, and it happens that there's nothing I can do to get what I want at that point of time. It all started when my junior sister wanted to write a common entrance, and there was no money. I don't know, from whatsoever, my dad became very difficult. So there are some times when my junior ones calls that they need money for school, and I'm unable to give them what I have. It pains me. So whenever I think of what to do to help the situation, that sex thing pops up, that urge comes. And then once that urge comes, I don't know where that calls come from. And once I pick the call, what I listen to is just, let's meet at so place, let me pick you up. And then after that, I'm done with the sex. I get the money. And then once the money is with me, I come back to my senses that, did I just do that for the money? And it wakens me anytime I remember, okay, this is what I did for the money. They call it runs. Like, you'll be at home, they will be the one to call you that, babe, I'm going out. Let's go out together. I'm going to see a friend. So they are going to see their man friend. Obviously, their man friend is going to have a friend. And then her friend is going to have their man friend friends. Something like that. And then once we're done, when we're leaving, they give us money. That month, sometimes 10, 15, 20. I was already going 17, 16, 17, 18 then. So I was already getting matured, but I was way bigger than my age. Because I was already exposed to such from the beginning. So the life was becoming interesting. I was enjoying it. I've once had the STD, and it even resulted to gonorrhea. That when I pee, at the end of my pee, I pee blood, and it was really hell. I was going through that pain. I treated it with all sorts of things before the blood stopped. When the man of God said that I've never had a lasted relationship before, that I used to sleep and in my dream, I used to see a spiritual husband making love to me in my dream. And I said yes, because I've had such dreams before. When I like a particular person and I just love seeing him, it happens that whenever I sleep, I see that face in my dream making love to me. So it happens even if I decide to like someone physically, I see the person spiritually. Sometimes we don't even make love, but we play. Sometimes on the water, sometimes on the beach, on the sand. We just play rough. But most time when it's about sex, I wake up, I feel very tired. I feel I've been working myself out before I woke up. Like I've been stressing myself in the REM. And I feel very tired. And he said that it's very difficult for our ladies in our family to get married. I said yes, because my mom's first daughter, which is my senior sister, I remembered on our wedding day, December 1st, there was a big clash between her and my mother. And then when Pastor said it's very difficult for them to get married, I went back to that scene. And then there was my dad's immediate junior sister. She's been married to like 4 different men. And she died not staying with one of them. But she had a son with the first man she married. And she was doing shakara now. She was beautiful. We are very beautiful in our family. But this issue of husband is just the problem. I used to have one sister too. I was told that she didn't end up marrying the person she was supposed to marry. And then there was case of disappointment. I would have been married 2013. I bought all my introduction wares. My fiance bought everything for me. And it was the date for him to bring his people, he didn't show up. And if not, I would have been the first person to marry before my senior sister. And I've had different kind of rich men that they are willing to marry me, but one thing or the other will just come up and then the relationship will be over. Roughly, if I'm not exaggerating, 15 close to 20. Like, I've had different kind of men. Even the present relationship I'm having right now started from April and we are in November. That has been my longest relationship. After the man of God ministered to me, so when I got home that night, the dream aspect wasn't coming. The sleep was different from the sleep I've had. Like, the sleep I had that night was the sleep I had when I was 4 in my father's house. I slept like a baby, and the calls I receive, there are some calls that I receive and I won't be able to turn them down. Calls from my men friends, male friends, female friends that there are some female friends that will be like, okay, I'm traveling to Lagos to meet my friends. Do you mind coming along? And once I accept, she will call those friends of theirs that I'm coming with my friend Joe. So arrange friend for my friend too. So those kind of calls. But I found myself declining such calls. The urge for sex, masturbation was gone. Even when I tried to put myself in the mood, I couldn't. It was totally gone. Like, it was totally gone. Right from the beginning, I didn't really come because I have a challenge and I was hoping to get healed. I just came here to have fun. I didn't know that where I thought it was over, that was just the beginning. I didn't know that I would be located, and I wasn't just located, but I truly saw changes. What I wasn't expecting was what I met. It was amazing being at Faith and Miracle International Church. It was a big experience for me. My mind was blurred. I'm just happy. I'm happy he allowed God to take charge. Because there's some people that do it on their own. I'm happy to God for using Senior Prophet GF Adetubero for me. I don't think there's any need for such doubts. The best thing for you to do is come and experience it.
Oh Lord, you know. Ezekiel said, oh Lord, you know.
Prophet GF Adetubero, anointed by God with the Holy Spirit, ready for action, is helping people and healing everyone who was beaten down by the devil. He is able to do all this because God is with him. Please subscribe, follow and like our pages on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. God bless you.
It is well, so well with your soul.